Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another update in my Panda Palette Challenge for you. I only have 3 things to talk about. You can see my list here, there's quite a lot on, but actually I have 4 things to show you. I forgot this one, so we're gonna start with this one. I don't know if I talked about that last month. Yes, I did. So last month I told you that I did a Franken shadow with 2.5 shadows from my Nomad palette. So it was the Roaring Twenties one, which is red, the Went Sweet, which is the green, the shimmer green, and then a tiny bit of Venice. And I made this shadow over here. It looks like absolutely nothing, but when you swatch it out, it's very gorgeous. The only thing that I did is I hit pan on it, and it kind of doesn't really count because, how should I say that? Like, it's 3 shadows mixed in a new pan, and I hit pan on that, so it doesn't really count in my actual challenge because technically this shadow, this color doesn't exist. So I just want to show you that yes, I hit pan. I'm working to use all of it up, and I still have enough of the other shades left to make another round of this one. So yeah, I need to use this one up first before I can mix in the other ones, and yeah, so I'm working on that one. Just want to show you that I hit pan on it. It's quite a big pan, but yeah, it's weather pigmented, so we don't need a lot. Which is nice, but also difficult because it will take a while. Like I said, it doesn't really count. Alright, then we have, oh yeah, an empty, which is the Naruto Super Shock Shadow by Colourpop. I filmed my Colourpop update, Colourpop Project Pan update. I will link it in the card if you want to check it out. And it is finally empty. Nothing left. I mean, of course, there's still some residue on the pan, which I could clean up, but I don't want to. So that's empty. It's the second empty from the 3 Super Shock Shadows I had. The Sasuke one, the blue one, I'm just not going to use that up. I tried. I hit pan on it. I'm just not a fan of blue shadow. So I was already struggling with the orange one. So imagine me with the blue. It goes back into my collection just like this. Not touching it again. Apart from dusting and all, but you know what I mean. I'm going to show you the Baby Yoda palette, which I'm finally working on. I used it, last month I used it. Was it once or twice? Not often. So again, in the Colourpop video, I set myself the goal of hitting pan on one shade and using the other one 5 times, because otherwise I just get no progress whatsoever. Because this is still my focus palette, right? But I also want to work on this because this is in my project pan. So the Baby Yoda palette, the child palette, we'll show it to you upside down, but this is what it looks like. So these 2 shades were out anyways, and then I hit pan on Red Hair Mando, and I'm working on Just Like a Tattoo. I have these shades on my eyes right now. This one in the crease, this one on top. I even have this one as a bronzer / contour. I mean, it will look better. My hair was like that. I used this a couple of times. I think so far 7 times, including eyes and face, and it looks like there's absolutely no progress whatsoever. I can see a tiny, very tiny dip forming. It's very small, very insignificant, but it's there. Given the fact that these are magnetic, I thought about taking this one out and then just use in my day-to-day makeup, right? Like everyday makeup, just use a bit in the crease and then maybe a bit as a contour bronzer. I just don't want to do that. So for now, I use this palette one day, and then the next day I use this, and then I use this again, and I use this. If I don't want makeup at all, well, you know, so be it, but you know, I change between these because otherwise I don't get any progress on any of these palettes. The goals for this will be, I don't think I can use that one up. Have a nice dip in this one. Maybe low goals, okay? I'm not going to say, oh, I want to hit pan on that one. No. A dip. For the bronzer thing, I use this brush, which is rather big. For the crease, I use this, which is very fluffy. If I would have a stiffer brush, or maybe like a point, or a liner brush, or whatever it is, you would see much more progress. Because this one, I use a packing brush, and yes, it is also a shimmer shade. And then also do a How It Does video, which I will film next week, so yay, on these 2. And I told you a couple times, this is one of my favorite shades in the palette, but I feel like it's not going to perform well, because if you saw the swatch with my finger, it already looked bad. So how is it going to look with a brush? I'm hoping it looks good. So that's the update for that one. One pan, which is exciting. You know, my palette, the Orient Express one, as you may know, is what that one looks like. Yay. So, oh my gosh, there's quite a lot to talk about. So, I have an empty, which is the Golden Age one here. I did a How It Does video on it, and I figured, well, you know, it's not that bad. It looks nice. It's a nice shade. I can use it. It's not a nice shade. Like, why did I keep this? It's just, maybe it's the shade of yellow. Just like a mustard, like Dijon mustard. It looks absolutely horrible in my eyes. And it's also very patchy, very powdery, how to use. I had so much struggle with that. And you know, sometimes you have eyeshadow where you apply with the brush and you can see the brush strokes on your eyes. Literally this. And it was patchy and it was not easy to build up, and I just didn't like the look at all. It didn't look nice. Yeah, maybe it's just my complexion, maybe my eye color, I don't know what it is. I just did not like it. So I figured I will throw this out. You know, it's empty. I'm not using it anymore. I'm also not putting it into my cosplay drawer because when will I use a yellow? And besides, in my cosplay palette, I have like 4 yellows already. It's just not my shade. Yellow is not, it's gorgeous on other people, but not on me. So, and especially not this mustard thing. So that one is empty, and therefore these 2 rows are empty because I'm not using any of these. I finally used up Guilty 12, which was the blending shade. Super excited about that. Yes, I mean you saw it coming, right? So excited about that, and I'm currently using Côte d'Azur as my blending shade. And yes, it works as a blending shade, but it's a little too pink. So it looks like, do you know that movie Babe, with like the piglet? It looks like that. I can make it work, but with a very, very light hand, which is also why I use this every single time I wear makeup. You don't see any progress whatsoever. The embossing is gone. But again, I'm using a fluffy brush. I have to go in very light-handed. It will take a while. It will, definitely. You know, there was a time in my life where the blending shades, or the blending shades, were the first one that I used up in a palette. I also used up Paris. So, see, I worked on this row here. I don't know why. My brain just focused on this row. So, these 2 empty, which is nice. So, Paris was a beautiful iridescent shade. Had a bit of pink undertone to it. Gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. One of my favorite shades in the palette. I use it as an inner corner highlight. I use it all over the lid. I use it underneath my eyes to make them, you know, a bit more awake. Gorgeous. Really love using that, and given the fact it was such a beautiful iridescent shade, it worked with a lot of these shades. Like, it worked with the green, it worked with the red. It was very nice to use. That was one of my favorites. Then, oh yeah, I hit pan on the green one here, which is Étoile du Nord. Yes. And you might think, oh, how you hit pan on it? It's very powdery. It's so powdery. That's the brush that I'm using. It's the shade brush. It's not that fluffy. I have it on the other corner. That's how we use it, on the other corner, because it's... I struggle with color, as you know. I hit pan. It took me maybe a week of constant use to hit pan. Honestly, it didn't take long. So here we are. I'm trying to expand it over to this side for whatever reason. Yeah, that's it. That's all I want to talk about. I expand the pen. This one, these I haven't touched because I have my Franken shadow. But this is almost gone. This is Venice, my favorite shade in the palette. I'll be very sad to see that gone, but it's still there. I got it. I feel like by the next update, it will be gone. I will make that a goal, right? If I don't do the Baby Yoda one as a goal to use that one up, I will use that one up. And then of course, hopefully, I probably won't be able to use that, but it would be so nice to use this one up, the Franken shadow, then use the rest of the red and the green to make a new Franken shadow. So these are out of the palette, and then when I'm left with, once the colors are gone, are just these 3 shades, the browns. I can make that work. I can use them on eyebrows. I can use it as a blending shade, as an outer corner, or whatever. I'm happy to have these left, which is why I've been working on this side of the palette, and that's what this one. So that is what that one looks like. That's the update. So with the empties, I'm down to 89 shadows. Is that nice? I mean, if you think about the fact that I started the year with 88 shadows, yeah. What did I buy? Oh, it was the Vive palette, which I still haven't touched ever since I done my palette bingo thing. I mean, look, I'm trying to use up as many shadows as I can at once. I'm using the green one, I'm using the Baby Yoda one, I'm using the what's it called? Just like Tattoon, I'm trying to use everything up all at once. And sometimes my brain is not working that way. You saw from this palette here, I went in sections, in rows. Right, this one I'm not using, so I went for this row. This one I'm not using, so I'm going for the green one now. And then simultaneously I'm using this one. Sometimes, like, my brain is just sometimes very weird. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know how your projects are going. Project Pan palette, Panda palette, Project Use It Up, Project Level Up, whatever it is. I didn't think I would have that much progress, but now that I've showed it to you and that I read, you know, the paper and my nose and everything, it's actually going great. There are still a lot of shades left in here that I have to use up. But of course my hair gets stuck in there. I can also simultaneously use this one, which brings a bit of color in. Not too much, it's not in your face, it's, you know, like a sage green, an army green, it's muted out. So I feel like I have some fun with this during the spring and summer that's now upon us. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I see you next one.